Hey there, and welcome back to another Miraculous Ladybug Season 5 review. And today, we'll be talking about Episode 18, Emotion. And yeah, another case of Gloob absolutely jumping the gun and airing episodes wildly out of order. But at least this and the previous episode sort of have the common thread of Kagami featuring as the major character, I guess. Sort of a little. It's kind of like a mini arc type of thing, I guess, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me inhaling some copium, trying to find a connection to make me feel better about this. Either way, doesn't matter right now. Because at the moment, we've got an episode to talk about, and so with all that being said, let's jump into things. And so we start off the episode with Adrien and Marinette out on a date. So I guess their relationship's progressed quite far. Too bad we haven't actually seen that play out on screen just yet, but okay. Anyway, despite this dude derailing previous dates and being way too invested in the love lives of teenagers for a grown-ass man, they are back once again at Andre's ice cream cart, where he's finally been able to serve up the ice cream combination that he'd crafted for them. Mint, vanilla, blueberry, and rose. I think those first three flavors are going to go, but rose? Really? Not really sure about that one. I feel like that's a flavor mismatch. But anyway, apparently the fact that they successfully bought a shared ice cream from this guy means his life's work is complete. And I mean, how is that possible? Ever since he first failed to give them an ice cream, has he sat awake at night lamenting this one failure? Does he wake up every night in a cold sweat, remembering how they almost didn't get to buy one of his fabled ice cream cones? That his flavor combination would go unused for all time? This dude's what, in his 40s, his 50s? Get a grip, Andre. Jesus! But yeah, he then just jumps on his bike and pedals off into the sunset, but not before arrogantly telling him that he is to Paris what whipped cream is to chocolate. So basically the perfect accompaniment. I mean, I'm glad the dude knows his worth, but you don't need to outright say it, mate. God, I hate Andre. I mean, is it just the name? Andre? Because if I had a nickel for every time a character named Andre was a selfish asshole in this show, I'd have 2 nickels, which, you know, it isn't a lot, but it is weird it's happened twice. Anyway, our lovebirds head over to that beach island place ready to share their ice cream and go for a kiss, only for Adrien's phone to go off, cock-blocking them with a reminder that he has a very urgent meeting with his father to attend. And so off he goes, whilst Marinette sort of just sits there awkwardly with their ice cream. I can almost hear Andre screaming in the distance, foiled again! Anyway, Marinette tells Tiki that Adrien was acting a little bit weird. And then he's told by her sassy little friend that they're always weird. And then she asks her to give up her ice cream. Greedy and rude? Tiki's my kind of Kwame. Marinette then goes to vent to her friends, Alia and Nino, who openly laugh at her for no longer being a stalker and not knowing Adrien's schedule off by heart, because apparently that's something to tease someone over. But because she's no longer a stalker, she doesn't know that he's attending his father's high society ball, the Diamond Dance. An exclusive event only for Gabe's powerful friends and their children to attend. An event that Adrien didn't tell her about to try and spare her feelings, as only Gabe's approved guest list are allowed in. Anyway, we then cut to Kagami, who's practicing with her mum, who honestly just whoops her ass straight up, before she runs into Lila as she goes to collect her things. Lila is still in her manipulator mode that we first saw in episode 12, and listens to Kagami vent about not wanting to go to the ball, as her mum and Gabe want to name her and Adrien the king and queen of the ball, and thus are being really pushy about them being together. Which, yeah, that's actually quite gross. Lila then goes on to ask why she wasn't invited to the dance, and she gets slapped down by Kagami's blunt honesty. You're not a precious stone. You're just a stone. A nobody. Ouch. Like, I know she wasn't trying to be mean, but it's so brutal. Moving on, we then have a scene with Zoe and Marinette lingering outside the movie theatre, where Zoe gives us a bit of an exposition dump about the Diamond Dance, and we see that they're much closer friends than they were before, so guess that's something that's going to play out over the course of those skipped episodes? Guess so. She also goes on to give Marinette her mask that she can use to get into the dance, and allow her to get dressed up and ready to go so she can give her support to Adrien. Zoe's such a good friend! Especially since this means she's going to be seeing this random movie alone. And seeing films alone in the cinema? That's no fun. Meanwhile, at the dance itself, everybody's arriving, and Gabe and Natalie have a pretty brief argument where they disagree as to whether Adrien should be allowed to date Marinette. Natalie, being more reasonable, thinks it's pretty weird to try and control your kid's dating life like that. Gabe is less wholesome, as always, and he thinks it's completely normal to order your son to date and marry one of your friend's kids. I mean, doesn't everybody do this? Lila then calls Gabe and gets sent to voicemail, where she tells him that she should be invited to the Diamond Dance too, but she's clearly not gonna be. Whilst Gabe begins to rage that Adrian's running a little bit late, even going so far as to give Andre Bourgeois a stare down when he dared to ask the question, "Where's Adrian?" Marinette then manages to infiltrate the dance, posing as Zoe, and has to hide from literally everybody, whilst Adrian notices a ring on Kagami's finger and starts to panic. And all the while, Felix's mum bursts in, yelling about how Felix has been missing for weeks and that Gabe hasn't lifted a finger to help. And then he gets her escorted out by security. Damn, guess he is not uncle or brother-in-law of the year. Seriously, what is his end game here? Even if he manages to bring back his wife and heal himself and Natalie, would he be able to wipe out everybody's memories of this too? Because if not, the dude is going to get divorced so hard. He goes against her wishes to try and revive her. He abuses their son in the process. He almost gets their friend Natalie killed. And he treats her sister and nephew like shit. It's not really going too well for him, honestly. Based on what we've seen of her character, she'd be straight out the door with Adrian and Natalie instantly. Dude's terrible at playing the long game. Anyway, they all head inside, followed by Marinette, who gets ready for the masquerade ball. So she gets dressed up, and then she has to try and mingle with all the pretentious rich people, such as Chloe, who is somehow not able to easily recognize her voice or the rest of her face. It's not like it's a very impressive mask. Plus, it doesn't have the benefit of magic like the supersuits. Guess Chloe's just an idiot. Meanwhile, Adrian and Kagami are chilling up on the podium as the king and queen, with Kagami praising Adrian for being late and thus pissing off their parents, and also revealing that she still has feelings for him. But of course that she's backing off because of Marinette. She really is the best friend, isn't she? Honestly, all of Marinette's friends, they're just so deeply wholesome. But anyway, as they're about to open the ball, Adrian starts acting pretty sus. Smirking, telling Kagami they can straight up leave, complaining about people controlling them, pretty much just setting up the Felix reveal. Anyways, they go to start the dance. Marinette makes a massive scene and runs out in front of everybody to tell Adrian it's okay that he didn't tell her about the ball. And that she wouldn't have been upset because, she wouldn't have been. It's not like it was his choice not to invite her. But I can't help but thinking, surely a text message would have been easier than this. Or a voicemail, perhaps. No? You're going to infiltrate a ball, probably getting your boyfriend in trouble with his dad, and interrupt proceedings in front of everybody. Nice. But yeah, Chloe rages, Gabe rages, security robots converge, Adrian looks like he feels a little bit guilty, probably because Felix has realized that he's interrupted an important relationship moment for Adrian. Oopsie. Felix then goes to dance with Marinette, whilst Chloe gets angry and angrier, and it's revealed that this is not in fact Adrian. It's Felix. Go figure. And just as Chloe jumps on Marinette's back like a complete freak to steal her mask, Felix transforms with a Peacock Miraculous. And his costume. Whew, yeah, I'm not sold on the hood, but the rest is fine, I think. And he makes a Sentimonster Blood Moon that allows him to Thanos snap away anybody that's bathed in its red glow. And then he goes full psycho and just starts wiping everybody out except for Marinette and Kagami. And I mean like everybody. Chloe, Gabe, Kagami's mum, all gone, all just dust. And then he picks up Marinette and he jumps away, stashing her in a public dumpster to help keep her safe for Adrian, whilst he massacres the rest of Paris. Yeah, massacres. The dude goes unhinged and just kills everybody because he feels like it. Of course, Marinette, being a hero, wants to go after him, and so she transforms too, whilst Felix has a song and dance number where he kills everybody as he sings along. What is this? School Shooter the musical? I feel like this scene has got to be the most tone-deaf thing the show's ever done. He's literally killing people, and they thought, you know what would go really well here? A completely out-of-place song and dance number. What is this? Your song's bad, and you should feel bad, Felix. Premium cringe shit right here. And it's at this point that Ladybug, after everybody's already dead, makes her appearance. Felix tells her that he's going to take her and Cat Noir's Miraculous before he starts beating her ass, and telling her that she can't possibly win. That the whole world's already bathed in his moonlight, so either she gives up and gives him the Miraculous so he can change the world, or he does it himself by killing everybody anyway. Ladybug uses her lucky charm and she gets nothing. And then she gets snapped away. Jesus. Felix. This dude hands out owls like they're participation trophies at a school athletics day. I don't think there's a single character in the show that's had as much success as him. But of course, by the time that she dies, Ladybug's realised that he's probably going to end up reversing everything anyway. At least, she hopes he will. and so she dies with a smile. Felix then wanders through the empty streets of Paris in a pretty eerie scene before being confronted by Kagami, who yells at him for killing everybody she loves. Except Adrien, as Felix brings him back with a snap of his fingers, revealing that he's done all of this for Adrien, to prevent him being controlled. And so it's clear now that there's lots of Sentimonster shenanigans going on. Guarantee it. And I guess it's probably going to be the three of them. Anyway, he monologues like a serial killer. Aren't you happy I killed everybody? Now it's just the three of us forever. Well, I mean, the four of us with Marinette, isn't that great? And they yell at him because, yeah, it's a pretty evil thing to do. And he tries to lead them to Marinette, only to find that she's not there. And he panics, he tries to bring her back, but fails. As after all, she was Ladybug at the time, and he doesn't know they're the same person, so he can't quite bring her back. Probably the magic of the miraculous. And so he realizes he was wrong, he brings everybody back to life, Marinette comes and finds them, he runs away, he releases the moon, he cries about it. So yeah, at minimum, this kid's a Sentimonster for sure. And then, well, I guess he goes home. As the very next scene is with his mum, where she calls Gabe a monster and tells Felix that he was right. Gabe hates them. And I wonder why. Is Gabe just an asshole or what? Anyway, they have a wholesome hug and Felix looks like he's turned over a new leaf. Adrien tries to have a heart-to-heart with his dad and get him to meet with Marinette, but he gets shot down, so that's less wholesome. And then Gabe vents to Natalie about how Marinette is as annoying as Ladybug. It felt like he was moments away from ordering a hit out on her as well. And so we finish off with Gabe making a new enemy after he mocks and belittles Lila for getting too big for her boots, which was very cathartic. But still, based on this, the final few episodes are shaping up to have some pretty massive moments. The Marinette and Gabe showdown, Lila swearing revenge, Kagami standing up to her mum, Sentimonster shenanigans. Hopefully they manage to pull it off in a satisfying way. And so yeah, that's the end of the episode. Once again, another good one. A different formula than usual. I liked that Felix didn't actually have to get beaten to lose. And ultimately, this episode was more a character building piece than anything else. The story doesn't always need to be that Ladybug saves the day. And I think that helped this episode stand out. But yeah, with all that being said, these are just my opinions, and now I'd like to hear yours. What did you think of the episode? You like it, hate it? I'm curious for your thoughts, so make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know.